Hello, moviegoers, and welcome back to Offstage On Screen, your everything movies channel, reviews. And today we're going to watch Mission Impossible, the trailer, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and then we're going to go talk to our friend Robert, who's seen the movie and is going to give us a little review of what he thinks. Let's get right into it with Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, The Final Reckoning.
This can't all be true.
Every word.
CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing.
That was just 2 months ago.
This explains the handcuffs. It's still not clear why he's here.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink,
That's right.
we have
Here
to
because
deal
he's
with
a
it.
badass.
Should he choose to accept?
Deal with it. He's here.
Smart
because
people on every side are close to panicking.
he's the only chance
What
he's
exactly is your plan? Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised.
Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
You gave him an aircraft carrier?
Our lives are the sum of our choices. If this was your calling, your destiny, I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me
one last time.
one last time.
Stole the line from the top. Final Reckoning. There it is. Wow. Wow. Woo! Look at that. Robert!
Hello.
I got to see that movie now. I need to see it now.
You want to see it, yeah?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Tell me your feelings.
Man, I literally got to chill. Like that's
Yeah?
pretty badass. It looks badass.
Yeah.
But that's Tom, you know. You can trust. You can trust in Tom. He's gonna deliver, right?
Yeah, it's one of the things I think, which is like historically, I don't recall any other actor being on top of his game for 40 years.
Yeah.
That is unheard of. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. He's just like, he never stops. And he just has hit after hit. He's had a few kind of misses, but in a span of 40 years, you're allowed to have a few duds. But like, Tom is going crazy. And he becomes crazier and crazier, especially with all his stunts and stuff that he does, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. He does all of his own stunts. He's known for that. And I mean, he's the consummate. He loves movies, you know. He's the
Yeah.
consummate kind of
Yeah, he eats, breathes,
right.
eats movies, like totally. So, and I respect him for that. And I like I've always loved Tom Cruise. I mean, there are people who hate Tom Cruise, but I think it's mostly because of his personal life.
Yeah.
I've never really cared about sofa jumpings and, stuff that he did.
Yeah.
And his beliefs. It is a little bit bizarre about, I'm not going to go into his relationship with his
Well, the guy
daughters.
loves to make movies. He's good,
Yeah.
and he appreciates the people that make film.
Yeah.
And there's been times even like when there was COVID and stuff, and people remember that, and they're walking
Yeah.
around without the mask and everything like that, and you heard him yelling at people, and I agreed with him 100%. It's like, you know, he had to work really hard to get this movie to be even made during the time of COVID, and people aren't following protocol and stuff.
Right.
You know, and he's just worried about people's jobs. This guy is an industry unto himself.
Yeah, he surrounds himself with the best as well. like people that work within the movie and so on. So you can see it on screen. Definitely, it's amazing.
So, what did you think of the film?
I was on the edge of my seat like a lot of the times. It's not the best mission,
Okay.
but that's my personal opinion.
Right.
If I start with a negative, it's not the best one, it's not the worst one. It's sort of in the middle.
Okay.
It's over long, 169 minutes, which is like touching almost 3 hours, which is not necessary in my opinion. There are scenes that could have been cut a bit.
Probably because it's the last one.
Yeah,
They wanna juice it.
supposedly. Let's put the word supposedly in there because
Well, geez, how old is the guy?
yeah, he I don't know, it's I believe it. Yeah, I kind of hope it is. But let's see. It's supposedly the last one anyway.
Yeah. Well, they titled it The Final Reckoning.
Yeah, well, originally it was there is a slight story behind that as well because this is the movie that for the first time it's a two-part film. The first film that came out 2 years ago, a Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then this one was going to be called Dead Reckoning Part 2, but Part 1 didn't make as much money. And it isn't that good, I thought, the Part 1. I made a full YouTube video about what I didn't like about it when that came out 2 years ago.
Of course you did.
And yeah, and I talked about it. I talked about stuff I liked about it, but there wasn't anything original in the action scenes in that first part, which there are in the second one, except for maybe the motorcycle jump, but even that has been done before. Right. And so I was complaining about that, the lack of originality. And I think it showed on the box office. It still made like $700 million, but they expected more, I think.
Right.
And so they discussed that they didn't want to call it Part 2 because they want more people to come. So they changed the title to The Final Reckoning instead of Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Okay, I get it. Yep, makes sense.
I don't know if that helps, but to see this movie, you kind of have to have seen the first part, the one that came out 2 years ago. I would say it's a massive advantage to have seen that because it is one story split in two movies.
Oh,
the beginning of this tries to give the audience a summarization of stuff that's happened before and flashback stuff.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
They talk.
They go through the whole. It looks like they go through the whole thing.
Yeah, from the first movie. Yeah, 30 years ago.
Ethan's whole life, whatever trajectory.
It is tied. What I like about it is that it ties a lot of the sub stories of previous missions into this one, which was unexpected. I just thought it was going to just start from where the last one ended, and we're going to see what happens because they ended it on this kind of edge of your seat kind of moment. Mm-hmm. But the whole aura and the feel of this movie is much better. It's much darker, and I don't mean dark by like that stuff is dark, but it's just like the world's going to end, which is like in every Bond movie almost. Mm-hmm. But there it's kind of like it's not, but you really feel like the world is going to end. Like, really? How do they do this? Because like you can't solve this. It's impossible. They have to solve something in a microsecond, otherwise the world blows up. Right. And so
they actually get you to that point where you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, and they build it up very well. It doesn't lack of action, obviously, but it has a lot of drama in the first sort of half with not so much action, and they leave it to the end.
I noticed that they were all whispering.
Yeah.
Which I thought was unique in a movie like this. What are you going to do, Ethan?
And I like that there is a character, he's in the trailer there. If you remember the first film, the CIA computer guy that has to go and puke because he has to come down from the ceiling.
Right.
So he had a minor little small funny role in that movie, but he plays a major part in this movie. Really? Like literally, he's really important in this movie, which is a lovely gesture of the filmmakers.
Totally. I did see that there was a lot of the old sort of cast being brought back.
There's characters and stuff, and that's tied into this, and that's nice. It's nice. It feels final.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe there's a reason. I mean, maybe they are kind of. Tom Cruise is got to be pushing 70.
Yeah, he's in his 60s. Like I would say early 60s,
I think he's
mid
a little. He
60s,
looks good. He looks good, but he's not early 60s. I mean,
isn't he?
no. It's worth a quick because.
I'm checking it out here as well.
Let's see who gets there first. 62. Okay, you're right. 62.
Right. So
Early
what's that
60s.
making? It makes him 63 now. Yeah. So, but I mean, the way he runs in, he's famous for his running, especially in the mission movies. Like the way he runs with his hands, and
the fast with the face.
and you can just see in his face,
He's
the
giving
hair.
it all his all.
Yeah. And I've seen some behind the scenes stuff that they when they were filming his running scenes, like the way he was prepping, like he was left alone to sort of just get into it. He knew he was going to do this long run, and it's the commitment is
The commitment
amazing.
to the filmmaking process is what has earned him a lot of respect in Hollywood. I'll be honest with you. Everybody loves working with Tom. He's not the kind of big Hollywood prima donna guy that you would expect. He just
He's not a diva of any kind. Like, hey, I'm Tom Cruise, and so and he likes to talk about the stunts, and they're. I think this is the 8th film, and you kind of run out of ideas. Like he has literally used every vehicle there is, and like so you have underwater submarine action, which is there's a whole 30-minute sequence without dialogue in this movie where he's just underwater and investigating a submarine inside, like his breath. It's a bit like Last Breath, like we talked about one time.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
But times 10.
That sounds cool.
So and then there is a magnificent airplane, like from the poster with the yellow airplane that he's hanging on to. You can see it's for real.
It's funny how they're able to pack so much action into so many minutes, just nonstop. Like,
but it's pretty heavy on story. It's the thing that I personally am not huge fan of is the slight complex story. It's about AI. It's very, in modern, the story is really like up to date. It's about AI and AI taking over control of governments and computers, and you can't stop it, and it teaches itself and all like that. So it's scary in that sense. You really feel like, how do you stop this thing?
Right.
So that's
so
cool, but I feel it's a little techie. The talk about how technically things work is a little like excessive for some viewers, I would say.
Probably they want it as realistic as possible, so they kind of delved a little deep into so nobody could call them out and go, that's phony. They would never. There's always some nerd that goes, they would never do it that way.
Because the storylines in the previous missions, in the first couple of them, were really like simple. They have to get the disc,
the bomb is,
and they have to get the biochemical
cut
thing,
the red wire,
cut the red wire, get the rabbit's foot in the third one, which you never knew what it was. It was just a cylinder of something,
right?
And you never found out what it was. You just knew it was dangerous,
right?
And that was it. And it,
right? That's interesting. That's funny. All right, so. Tom Cruise fans, Mission Impossible fans,
go see it.
Go see it, right?
Go see it. Support Tom. Always support Tom.
I see he's in London as well, running around.
Yeah.
But where does this rank? I don't know how many Mission Impossible movies there are. I've lost track. The first one was shot in Prague in the 90s, so I know all about that. And I have some friends that were in that one. So that was a big deal.
I think this is the 8th one.
8th, okay.
Yeah.
So out of the 8, if you can think, where would you rank it? Top 3? Top 5? I put you on the spot there because you have to think back, but
yeah, it's for me. It's sort of mid, slightly, maybe even below mid.
You said it wasn't the best, but
no, but it's. I think the worst one. If there's no bad Mission Impossible. There's just less good ones.
Right.
Let's say. So
this
I
is
would
not,
say
but okay, so this doesn't rank up
at the
there.
bottom is the second one, which is the John Woo one with all the slow-mo and the riding the bike through
that
fire.
thing with the bike and the
Yeah.
flipping of the, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
that's
a
where
lot
you
of
go.
people
That
love that
can-
movie, and I loved the movie when it came out. Me and my friends saw it, and we were like bicycling to cinema, and then we saw it, and then we were like jumping off the bikes on the way home, playing Tom Cruise. I remember that.
Right.
So I have a soft spot for that, but
I just watched that and went, that's not possible. It literally is mission impossible.
yeah,
You
there's a
can't do
lot of
that on a
stuff that
motorcycle.
is impossible to do, like
Yeah.
all this bike stuff. And
That bike stuff
when they
is
ride the
irritating.
bikes on the beach, you can see the tires have changed. They have the
Oh, the beach
grooves in the
tires,
tires, and then the next minute they're on the street and they have the normal
street
flat tires.
tires.
So there was a lot of stuff like that. But this one I would I don't know. I'd
Definitely in the
rank it, like,
top 8.
5th maybe.
Ooh, okay. All right. 5th for the final. I was friends with Tom Cruise's cousin, William Maypother, who is an actor as well.
There you go.
Interesting guy, which I didn't know about William till for some time, and then found out. But they have a resemblance as well. But I was in the groundlings with him for a while doing some acting.
That's true, because when you say his name, I know that Tom Cruise was in an interview once where he had to state his real name, and he said Maypother.
Well, Maypother is his cousin. I don't know if that's Tom Cruise.
I think he has it in his, like, he has probably like 4 names, like, Thomas Maypother.
Right.
Cruise,
it's definitely not
III.
Cruise anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
He picked a good name for himself.
the Cruiser.
Tom
He
Cruise.
should just be the Cruiser.
Yeah. I wanted to call myself Max Power.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
It's
something
punchy.
like
It's
that.
punchy.
Punchy, yeah. Max
like
Power, starring Max Power.
I thought my name was actually quite good as an actor. Nelson. I don't know. Maybe not.
Robert Nelson. No, you know what it's good for? Film reviewer.
Oh, that's good enough for me. Okay.
Thank you, Robert Nelson, film reviewer. And that has been our review of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Is it? Probably. Best one out of all 8. Not sure, but worth a watch. We'll see you next time on Offstage On Screen.